So what happened is last May, I went to Israel on a speaking tour, and I met all these wonderful people, and I decided that I should bring at least a few of them over to share what they have to offer with the rest of us here. And we figured, well, you know, maybe 20, 30 people might show up. So we scheduled this room next door, and now obviously there are 300 of you here. So anyway, I'll introduce the first speaker and the head of the team, and then she will introduce the rest of them. So it's my real pleasure to introduce my very good friend, Ori Shavit. And she's a journalist, an Israeli journalist who became vegan 3 years ago, 4 years ago. You see, the Israelis always have to correct you. So anyway, Ori was the one that actually arranged my tour and took care of all the details, and it was an amazing experience. And she told me to be very sure not to mention the fact that tomorrow is her birthday. Did I? Okay, never. Oh, yeah. Well, anyway. So, Ori, come on up.
You would have told me only 4 years ago that one day I will stand at the National Animal Rights Conference and talk about the vegan revolution in Israel, I would have laughed in your face. You know what? If you've told me only 4 years ago that there will be a vegan revolution in Israel, I would have laughed even louder. Israel, as well as myself, 4 years ago, was very far from veganism. Now, don't get me wrong, veganism is not a new thing in Israel. There are many Israelis who have been vegans for decades and organizations that have been active for more than 20 years. But in only 4 years, Israeli veganism changed from being a fringe phenomena to a mainstream movement. Today, you can't stop hearing about veganism in the Israeli media. There are tons of vegan recipes on the internet. Vegan groups on Facebook, vegan and vegan-friendly restaurants are everywhere. A few months ago, Tel Aviv was chosen as the most vegan-friendly city in the world by the Daily Mail magazine. Yeah. Activism is rising as well, with demonstrations, investigations, and interviews. Recently, a nationwide survey showed that 5% of Israelis report themselves as vegans. And 30% declared that they have reduced the consumption of animal products. Of all the countries in the world, Israel has the highest percentage of vegans in the population. Veganism is one of the hottest subjects and one of the biggest social changes in Israeli culture these days. Let's have a look. Thank you. So what happened? Why now? Why Israel? Israel is a young country, still emerging. A nation of immigrants. Our culture and cuisine are still evolving, and people are used to and open to innovations. They call us the startup nation. Our Mediterranean diet is ideal for vegans, with lots of vegetables, fruits, lentils, and grains. And we are a small country, so information is moving very fast, especially through social media. Actually, social media caused one of the trigger events that started this fast, intense, and powerful awakening when two Israeli activists decided to translate to Hebrew a lecture, Gary Yourofsky, an American activist who lectures in colleges around the US. With small budget and smart social marketing, this influential video became so viral that more than 1.5 million Israelis watched it out of the population of 8 million. Okay? This campaign made a lot of Israelis go vegan and raise the awareness of animal rights issues tremendously. My name is Ori, and my story isn't that different from the story of veganism in Israel. 4 years ago, if I went to a restaurant, I would order a big, rare, juicy steak. To me, the sexiest thing was to sit on a bar and with my bare hands tear apart a crab, bit by bit. I was a food writer and a restaurant critic, and food for me was an adventure, pleasure, passion, and satisfaction. Going vegan was not on my plate. But I was the one of many Israelis who watched Yourofsky's lecture, and I decided to make a change, not only in my diet, in life, in my career, but also in the world, in any way I can act, starting with the people around me. In the time that I have with you today, I'd like to share 2 examples of Israeli activism that demonstrates how each one of us can make a huge impact. In the summer of 2013, I'm standing in front of 5,000 people in the heart of Tel Aviv. Good evening, Tel Aviv of compassion. That's how I opened the closing ceremony of the largest AR march that took place in Israel. That march was not led by any official organization. It's the initiative of one man, Farduf, a law professor. How did we get 5,000 people to that demonstration? I've consulted a few of his friends looking for a new way to recruit animal rights activists and raising awareness. That midnight Facebook chat turned into this large demonstration that was planned and organized in only 1 month by a small but enthusiastic group of activists. Thanks to the help of the 269 Life movement, we spread the word overseas, and more than 40 similar demonstrations took place around the globe, including the US. The march was covered by the mainstream media and was very powerful and exciting. And as a result, many people joined different kinds of activism, others turned into vegans, and a lot of new contacts and bonds were created throughout that event. There was one man, what I call a lone ranger, with one creative idea that gathered around him a group of activists with different skills and from different organizations. Some of them were even non-organized, like me, for example, and many more, to do something new. That caught the attention of the media, made a big buzz, and success turned this march into an annual event. Why was it so successful? One, it was led by a small group of activists bringing their own unique skill, all devoted volunteers. 2, it had a strong visual impact. connected with the title, Look Into Their Eyes. Maybe some of you know this event as We Are All Earthlings, same double-titled event. And 3, I will tell you in a minute, it approached different kind of people with mutual interests, even non-vegans like dog and cat lovers, or people who are against the fur industry, or people that are against experiments. So we're talking about different people that we approach. We're talking about a strong visual effect and using different skills. That was exactly what I did when I became vegan. I asked myself, what skills do I have as an individual to promote veganism? Well, being a food writer, I know how to write about food. So I opened up my food blog, named it Vegans on Top, and started to document my own private culinary journey to vegan land. As a vegan, for me, is still an adventure, still a passion and satisfaction. When I decided to change my life for the animals, for my health, for the planet, I wanted to keep enjoying life and stay the same person. So I went to my chef friends and told them, hey, bring some delicious vegan food. They accepted the challenge, and I started posting their recipes on my blog. I had some amazing vegan evenings in some of the best restaurants in Israel. I covered those events and titled them as the new culinary trend. Hundreds of people came to eat, and I discovered a whole community of people that wanted the same thing that I did, to make a change through their choice of food, but to keep enjoying life. Every member of this community plays an important role by attending vegan events and showing the demand, by asking for vegan dishes in restaurants, by sharing vegan recipes and amazing food images on Facebook, on any social media, by setting a food-loving, happy, and healthy example to their friends and families, bringing vegan dishes to dinner, and showing the best values of vegan lifestyle and food. Restaurants and manufacturers also responded to this emerging demand of the community. Today, you can find vegan menus in all major coffee chains in Israel and in many restaurants. Some of them even receive a special vegan-friendly sign. And of course, we have many new 100% vegan restaurants. One of them is Nanuchka, a Georgian restaurant in Tel Aviv, that turned vegan overnight after 13 years of serving tons of cows and lamb meat and cheese. 2 months ago, it happened again in an 80-year-old restaurant in the north, in a kibbutz. And Domino's Pizza, Israel is the only country in the world where they serve vegan pizza and snacks in all their branches. Yeah. So, culinary activism often seems like dealing with the less important issues. But I believe it is very important, because it doesn't matter why you decide to go vegan, it always starts in your plate. What are you going to eat? And actually, culinary activism deals with this huge fear of ending up alone, ill, poor, and hungry. But it also exposes this variety of delicious vegan foods to people who are not vegans yet. It plays an important role in our lives. People need to enjoy, to taste, to feel that vegan cooking and eating out is easy, affordable, and approachable. We'll have another session just at dinner time about all these fears from vegan eating and cooking, and I'll be happy if some of you would like to come and listen to that as well. Culinary activism and the demonstration I just told you about are only two examples of the many different kinds of Israeli activism that we have today. You will hear a little more about it in a minute from my colleagues. This variety and our insistence on finding a common ground to collaborate is the foundation of our success. Although we have different approaches and sometimes we don't agree, many times we don't agree, we are all working for a common goal. So the first thing is, of course, to go vegan. So if anyone here is not a vegan yet, go ahead and take the step. But it doesn't end there. Next step is to pay it forward, and that's what I came to do here today. Now it's your turn to pay it forward with your friends and family, with your waiter at your local restaurant, with your school, your neighborhood, your city, your country. And for the many activists among you, if you sometimes feel frustrated, tired, or worn down, like I sometimes do, I hope my words give you a little inspiration to think of new, creative, bold ways to act, whether in an organization or as a lone ranger, using your own knowledge and skills, starting with a small idea or with a big vision. Go ahead, take action, and continue to be the change we want to see in the world. Thank you.